right, you ready?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm ready. Let's get it.
Okay, buddy. Can you believe that it was over half a year ago we did that first interview?
To be honest, yes, I can. I
can
can
believe it.
because I'm telling you, I remember everything now, so I can believe it. You know what I'm saying?
Those nerves kicking back.
Yeah, oh my goodness, yes.
Well,
High
okay.
strung.
So welcome back.
Glad to have myself.
Yeah. Again, tell me your name, how old you are, and where you're from.
My name's Alex May. I'm from Laurel, Mississippi, and I am 30 years old.
That's awesome.
Yes, yes.
What's your sobriety?
30. September 25th, 2018.
That's awesome.
Yes.
So how does it feel to be 2 years sober?
Feels phenomenal, to be honest with you. Like, life has never been this good. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, it's a blessing.
You've made it pretty far now.
Yeah,
So
God
that's
is
pretty
good.
cool.
Amen.
What's changed? What are you doing differently than in your first year of sobriety?
I mean, that's simple. I mean, I'm sponsoring people nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I work at a rehab, so I'm working with addicts and alcoholics every single day. You know, so that's been like one of the biggest like blessings of my whole life.
You're also married now.
Yes, and I'm married, which is freaking nuts. I mean, I didn't think I'd ever get married again. You know, it's awesome.
All that
So-
changed within
Oh
1
my-
year.
It happened pretty quick. Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yes, I have a wonderful wife.
So now that you're in the second year, you know, other than the first year, like what has changed with the tools, the groups, the outlets, like hobbies? What are you doing to stay sober still?
I mean, I still attend meetings regularly, any chance I get, and morning meditation. You know, I mean, that is a big part of my life. You know, realizing who I am and who God is, and how it's not about me. You know, just getting myself out of self. Because I mean, if I get back into what I want to do and like become selfish again, I'll be right back where I was. You know, so.
So you stayed pretty heavy in helping. You said you were sponsoring.
Yes. I mean, it's basically being a leader now. You know, my first year of sobriety, you know, it was more of like a learning experience. You know, learning how to step up and be a leader and help people. You know, so nowadays I actually am that leader.
Using a 12-step program.
12-step program, yes.
All the way.
All the way. Yes.
Well, okay, so you're out there helping folks.
Yes.
You're working at a rehab. So we'll kind of tie in relationships here. So tell me about, you know, like what's changed between, you know, family members, loved ones, wife. How are they, you know, impacting your sobriety, and what's evolved over the last year?
Well, they're motivating me. You know, my family, like every time I see them, they're just like, gosh, I'm glad about how good you're doing. You know, it's just the motivation that I get from them. And my wife, she's in the recovery program too. You know, so we are literally working towards the same goal.
Yeah.
So you know, if I'm feeling less than that day, you know, she's there to pat me on the back and be like, look, you got this. You know, and vice versa. We keep each other going strong, and
You think that
it's awesome.
you guys have built a foundation where you'll stay sober together, like a relationship helped?
Yes, or it did for me. I mean, my sobriety was not. I mean, I still had my sobriety regardless if she was in the picture or not. But the fact that we both are working towards the same goal and we're both in recovery, it is such a benefit.
Because there's
You know.
that stigma, you know, where they say folks who are coming out of recovery or they're in early recovery, getting into a relationship
Yes.
can be, you know.
Well, I was 11 and a half months sober before I even thought about getting into a relationship. You know, I waited basically, I mean, they say a year. So, I mean, I basically waited a year. You know, that was about like finding myself, really. Because, I mean, the last time that I was sober, you know, I was a kid, you know, like 17 years old, you know, so I didn't even realize who I was, you know. So I had to find myself. But at that point, I'd already worked the steps, you know, before I had a foundation before I added a relationship to the mix.
Well, so now let's do a little reflection. So, what were some of the goals you had, like in that very first year? We're talking about coming out of the rehab center, and what you wanted to do. How has that changed? What are your goals now?
Well, my goals fresh into recovery was, I mean, my only goal was to learn how to stay sober. You know, surround myself with winners. Like, what did they do that I needed to emulate? You know, how did I need to go about living my life? You know, and another thing was just keeping a job. That's something I've never been able to do. You're talking about like being at a job and keeping it. You know, that's never been a part of my toolkit, I guess you could say. I'm not good at that. But now I mean, I can work at a place and I stay there. You know, I put in a 2 weeks notice. You know, if I leave and go somewhere else, I mean, that's something I've never done.
Sure.
So I mean,
do you have any long-term, goals now? I know we're a 24-hour kind of person, being an addict.
Yeah.
Do you have some long-term goals?
Yes, I just started doing Bible classes. So I'm going to like what you call Bible college, like seminary school. So that's what I'm doing right now to better myself, I guess you could say.
Are you getting any like certifications working over at a rehab? Or are you doing?
I'm working towards my peer support specialist. I mean, that's something that I've put in my application. You know, I still have to wait for the actual classes to come out before I can do it. But yes.
Any like relationship goals y'all got planned, or?
Right now, I mean, we're not really any more goals, I guess you could say. We're just both focusing on our recovery, and I mean, we spend lots of time together, and
yeah.
I mean, but as far as like set goals, no,
yeah.
not at the moment. I mean, we're just building a future together,
mm-hmm.
But whatever that entails, but yeah.
So okay, now we talked about reflecting. So where do you see yourself? You talk about Bible college and a few other things. Where do you see yourself in a year from now?
A year from now, I guess halfway through this course and learning more, getting closer to God and being more of a leader. Honestly, I'm growing so much every day, and there's so many things in my life that are changing that I'm getting better at, I had no clue how to be a man. I had no clue what responsibility was, and I am learning, progressing, I guess you could say. It's not something I'm never going to reach a point where I'm like, okay, I've learned it all. This is a daily reprieve. It's a daily battle with the old me.
So you have to constantly tell yourself you don't got it?
Oh, constantly. Yes. I mean, if I ever think that I have all the answers, then what reason do I have to go to a meeting? What reason do I have to pick up a book? You know what I'm saying? I don't have it.
So then are there still struggles? Even after 2 years, do you still have any struggles?
Mainly just my struggles with selfishness,
Okay.
Just getting out of self, even with doing morning devotions and learning every day. I mean, I still struggle with that. I mean, I feel like, that's probably my biggest battle is just getting out of me.
Sure.
But as far as struggles with wanting to relapse or having to deal with like sitting on my hands so I don't use, no, those struggles have been long gone. Like that is not a battle.
The cravings gone.
That kind of stuff. Yes, when they say that obsession of that obsession of craving just gets relieved, like that is a fact. Like it's gone. Or phenomenon of craving. My bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, okay. Are you happier?
Oh my goodness. There's not words to describe the happiness that I feel on a regular basis.
Yeah.
Like I'm content with life on every level. Like the peace and serenity that I found through working these steps is, I mean, it's undeniable. My life is amazing today. Like even on my worst days, like even when I'm just like, I just hate this, I don't even really get to that point no more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's simple. I mean, I have open communication with my higher power. Sure. I mean, and if I get down or if I get upset, if my wife doesn't like make me feel better, I've got God above everything. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I really don't have bad days. Not to say that they
were.
not yes, but I mean, honest to goodness, like I really don't even know what a bad day is anymore. I mean, I know there'll be struggles to come up through the pipe eventually, but ever since I've got sober, I mean, I really life is good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a fact. Or it's been a fact for me. I mean, everybody's different, but for me personally, life is amazing.
So then, you're reaching a new milestone. If you had someone else who's trying to get sober, they're in that first year, learning, maybe coming out of rehab or something, and they're coming to the tail end of that year, what would you tell to somebody that is about to start a second year? How do they stay on the path of sobriety?
And that is simple. Never stop learning. Like sponsor people. Do things to better yourself. Do not become stagnant. That is the worst thing you can do. Do not become stagnant. Don't be like, okay, well, if I just keep doing this, then I'll stay sober. No, I always have to be developing new ways to learn and to help people. Mm-hmm. If I ever get to a point where I think I have my routine set to where I don't need anything else in my life, that's automatically where I'm setting myself up for failure. It's always about bettering yourself. I mean, if you don't try to learn something new every day or try to put yourself into a situation where you could be proven wrong,
yeah.
then you're just setting yourself up for failure because it's just constantly learning.
Okay, now I got something new for you.
Okay.
This is that lightning round we talked about.
Dang ain't nothing better than lightning, man.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you multiple questions. I'm not gonna ask you just one. Okay, you ready?
Okay,
Right.
no.
What did you lose to addiction?
Everything. I lost everything. I lost my respect. I lost my family. I lost the trust of the people that I love most. I mean, I came into all this with a bag of clothes. I'm surprised I didn't lose that, but I don't think nobody wanted to wear like stinky clothes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
nothing. I mean,
all right. Number 2. Give me one thing you're proud of that you've done since getting sober.
I'm proud that I never quit. I mean, I've always been a quitter. I've always been a runner. I finished. I'm a finisher today. You know, and I'm proud of my marriage.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the change that people see in me. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard to put one thing in there.
Oh my God! I mean, I could go on. I really could preach a TED talk on on that for sure.
That's
I mean, it's
awful.
insane. I mean, God,
All right,
there's
one
not
more.
a word to describe.
Let me give you one more. All right. What have you learned from your addiction?
What have I learned from my addiction? That I needed help. You know, that I needed someone to show me a better way. You know, I learned that I couldn't do it on my own. I mean, for sure. I learned what not to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, through addiction. I mean, I don't really know what the answer to that question is, but addiction has taught me so much. I mean, it really has.
And everything is different now, right?
Everything is different.
Different path, different course.
Yes, but it took me doing anything that I wanted to do. Like, that was one of the reasons why I'm sitting here right now, is especially in early recovery. Anything that in my mind, I was like, okay, I need to do this. I went to counsel. You know, I asked somebody else, hey, what do I need to do here? Because I don't have the answers. If I listened to myself in early recovery, I would not be sitting here.
Sure.
Because I had no solution. You know, and it was listening to people, and I did the opposite of what I thought. If I said I wanted to go right, that's an automatic. I'm going left, because all I've ever done is run myself in circles. You know, so I have to do something different. So I did not take my advice. I mean, today I can trust myself a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because I have a solution today.
Mm-hmm.
But just learning to do the opposite of what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the biggest thing that I see people struggling with. Is people just we can't get out of self. Like, we want to do this, and this, but that's the same thing that they've done their whole life. And I mean, they're where they are because they've always done this, and this. You know, you have to.
That definition of insanity, right?
Oh my goodness gracious, yes.
Well, if you had one final word, do you have anything else you want to throw out there?
Keep pursuing sobriety. Surround yourself with winners and take advice. Don't just listen to yourself. I mean, goodness gracious. I mean, I don't even know. but just keep going, and you got to progress in this program. You know, you have to sponsor people. You need to share in meetings. You need to be vulnerable. Vulnerability. Oh my goodness.
That's a great answer.
That is one thing. People don't like to peel back the layers, because once they start doing that, they're afraid of the things that they see. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard. But I'm telling you, we find so much strength after you peel those layers back and you start talking about these things that are hard to talk about. The strength that comes from that, like after it's over, the relief, the motivation that you find, it is just, I mean, words. I mean, it's crazy doing this interview. I keep finding myself saying words can't describe, but I mean, that's just a fact. You know, I mean, there's really not words to put to some of these ways that I'm feeling, and how much my life has changed. Like, I mean, I would have to write it all down. I still feel like I would struggle, you know, but what's awesome is my life is the proof. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know me and you see the life that I have today, I mean, it's amazing.
Well, I hope that we can do this again in another 6 months or a year, you know, and we just keep showing people how sober
I'm telling you,
works.
this is awesome. I love these videos. I love that you're doing this.
Well, thanks for doing this again.
For sure.
And we'll see you in the next one.